Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Career a Day segment. I've got another special guest with me. This is Stacy Lynn. She is the assistant principal at TLC Elementary, and she's going to tell us all kinds of educational things in the educational industry. So thank you so much for coming on.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Of course, of course. So we're just going to get started. You were a teacher before you were an assistant principal. Mm-hmm. So what does that career path look like?
Well, to be a teacher, typically students will go to school and get a 4-year degree in education. That does look slightly different depending on if you want to take the elementary school route or the middle or high school route.
Okay.
Typically, teachers that want to be elementary school teachers get a degree in education, whereas teachers that are more geared toward the high school level might get a degree in that field, right? In physics, biology, English, etc., with a teaching certificate on the side. So again, slightly different, but the same concept is a 4-year degree. Now there are alternative ways to become teachers in case it's something you decide you want to do later on in life. Mm-hmm. But again, a 4-year degree is always required.
Okay, so always required. You got to have that degree before you even get started. Perfect. So as far as management, because now you're in management, what is the likelihood that someone can move up?
So teaching is technically what's called a flat profession in the sense that you would be a teacher forever. Teachers do have the ability to change grade levels. You know, maybe I taught first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, sixth grade. There's definitely room, as long as it's within your certification, to jump around to different grade levels and possibly different subjects, again, depending on what your certification is in.
Okay.
But if you want to leave the classroom and become a counselor or an administrator or something along those lines, there's things called instructional coaches where you work alongside teachers and help them become stronger teachers. There are other avenues to go down other than being a teacher, but those always typically require a master's degree. So going back to college for about another 2 more years and then specializing in whatever field that is, whether it's administration, counseling, etc.
Gotcha. Okay, so lots of education required because it is the education field, right? So speaking of just this industry in general, what does the salary range look like when it comes to, you know, starting teachers, or they're close to retirement?
Yes. So, you know, every state is different. And then within the state, every district is different. Now, if I had to give it a ballpark number, within Texas, I think the average first-year teacher would probably start around between $32,000 and $40,000, depending again on the district.
Okay.
There's always opportunities to do side things to get stipends, such as coaching, other academic areas. So there's ways to get little bonuses along the way. But I would say that's about average for a starting teacher.
Okay.
I would say your average retiring teacher that has been in the field for, let's say, 20 years and is ready to retire is probably making somewhere between $50,000 to $60,000.
Okay.
If you work your way up to administration, counseling, etc., that salary range can be anywhere from $50,000 to $80,000.
Okay, so again, you know, of course, the more you do, the more likely you are to make those big bucks.
Yes.
So, okay, fabulous. Now, speaking of the competition within the market, if somebody is a teacher, they're just graduated, how likely are they to actually get a job?
Oh, there's always a need for teachers. That's not an issue as far as getting a job. You know, sometimes people come out of school or they want to go to they want to teach at this campus, or they want to specifically get a job in this district. You know, that can become a little bit more challenging. But as far as just being able to find a blanket teacher job, there's always a shortage and we always need people.
So you'll get a job for sure.
You'll get a job for sure. And again, if it's not right off the bat the grade level you wanted or the campus you wanted, at the end of the year, you always have an opportunity to go to your principal and say, you know, I think I want to try out this grade level instead. Or if it's within the district, you can often change to another campus if, you know, both principals are in agreement. So there's always wiggle room.
Okay.
I would say, you know, get your foot in the door, and then from there you can move around.
Perfect. Wonderful information. Thank you so much for coming on. Is there any final piece of advice or message that you want to share?
You know, to me, teaching is the hardest job in the world. And I want people to know that when they're getting into the field.
Yeah.
If you think that teaching is easy because you get summers off, you will be slapped with reality very, very, very quickly.
Yes.
Teachers come in early, they work late, they work weekends. If you took the hours that a teacher does in a school year and you divided it out, it's the same as working a 40-hour job all year long.
Yeah.
So is it nice to have summers off? Sure. Is it nice to have Christmas breaks, spring breaks, etc.? Sure. But in those in-between times, it is a very tough job. You are the students' mentors, you are their teachers, you are their guidance counselors, you are their safety net. And so it is not for the faint of heart.
Yeah. Definitely. Good advice there. Thank you so much again for sharing that and for coming on. We appreciate you.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Of course, and we appreciate y'all watching as always. Hey, that's all for right now, but we'll see you next time.